Last session, the party angled their dragonels down to a cavern rimmed with colored crystals. A few cautious tests showed the truth. Normal spells only made them flicker. The stones wanted raw power. Kalut and Tim pressed bare mana into them and watched each gem pulse awake. Plans for a rest evaporated when a massive earth guardian lumbered in, chain hammer whistling. Meku surged to meet it, took crushing hits, and kept moving. Cliff called down searing judgment that flaked stone from the creature's chest. Tim's contraptions pulsed warding force to keep the line alive as his fire and thunder scorched clay. The guardian smashed Meku down, then Cliff, but the party wore it to rubble in a gritty back-and-forth brawl that proved the cave would spawn more if they lingered. They poured mana into the last crystal. Beams of color netted the room. The floor swallowed the door, and a second chamber opened. Within stood a giant mana crystal fed by a luminous tree. Chiana Quiversword hung bound to an X-frame, a conduit in a cruel ritual to siphon the grove. The keeper of this place stepped forward, a frost-bound warden, ice glittering on a cudgel of pain. The air turned raw with cold. The floor slicked with grease and glaze. Meku's axe bit deep, only for cold to flash up the haft and bite back. Cliff staggered under freezing blows, rose to answer with soul-wringing judgment, and faltered again. Kalut hammered forward with mace and corrosives, keeping friends breathing, as Tim hurled fire and thunder, tried to set the slick alight, and danced the edge of the warden's range. The fight pitched and swung, Meku carving, Cliff falling and rising, the warden's armor of ice punishing every bold strike. At last, Cliff's final toll shuddered the warden's skull to shards, and silence dropped. They cut Chiana down and she explained. The mages were draining the grove by chaining her nature-bound spirit to the crystal. When Tim and Kolot tested the monolith, it kicked like a live wire, searing flesh while refilling their spent reserves with druidic power. They withdrew to the riverside to rest. Chiana played a haunting set of bagpipes, then slipped away at dawn to act against the grove's defilers. In the quiet, Kalut confessed to Cliff what had been gnawing at him since his resurrection with a purple diamond. He no longer ate, slept, or felt properly alive. Cliff's faith confirmed a faint odor of undeath clinging to his friend. Pushing on, the party reached the Gem Kingdom's coast and stepped into the Elysian Inn, an elegant pleasure house with a pool, library, games, and an open bar whose price was a whisper of life. Sweet mints softened reluctance. Even the door seemed unimportant to use. Weapons were politely unwelcome. With comforts on every side, and the memory of the grove's wound behind them, the party realized their next challenge might be the velvet trap they had just entered.